Welcome to Vicoding University, training humans to train themselves. Okay, today what I want to talk about is flip books. Now, it sounds like flip means fast going through it, but I want you to understand it's a practice, it's a drill, and it really is a time to focus and concentrate on a mental process. A mental process. Now, when we consciously do stuff, we do it slowly relative to our subconscious. So, relative to verbal reading, which is a subconscious process, even though it's 5 steps and restricted by its linear process, it's much faster than consciously and silently thinking about it. So, this is going to be a silent process. Okay, we're just going to silently think and work on a mental process, and it's going to feel slow relative to normal reading. Okay, now remember, once we get this mental process working with the subconscious, it's going to be a lot faster than the verbal reading. So again, it's going to end up being a lot faster, but initially it starts slow. So let's talk about here a little quickly here. So as we go through this, it's going to be a mental process, and we're going to be silently doing it. So you're going to be tempted, because you're going to be seeing a real written word, tempted to actually start the verbal process. So again, you want to sort of psych yourself up to say, okay, I'm not going to, not that I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to follow the directions, because we're going to give you something to do. We're going to have you look at the word as a code and say, okay, this is a code. What am I supposed to do with it? Okay, and you're going to have instructions on something to do. So you don't even have to think of it as a written word. You want to think of it as something totally different. It's a code. Okay, and that code is for you to do something with. Okay, now one of the things that's going to happen is you're first going to do it consciously, then you're going to do a few more and a few more, and now you're going to start to catch on, and it's going to get faster and faster and faster and faster, and pretty soon you're going to be going, oh, this is easy. Okay, so you're going to catch on real quickly here, and you're going to learn, and you're going to train yourself to do it so that your subconscious is almost starting to take over. If nothing else, your conscious is getting pretty good at it. So it's going to get faster. So one of the things we're going to talk about is these drills are on a video, so the video runs at a certain rate, but you can change the rate the video goes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is show you on this is the YouTube thing on so you can see what it looks like. Let me get it up here and get it going so that you can see it. Okay, so you can see it there, right? Okay, and what I want you to focus on is this little gear here. This gear is the settings. Okay, you're going to click on the, oops, got to click on it down at the other thing. Click on the gear. Okay, and if you look at it here, let me get it over so you can see the whole thing. Okay, there it is. Okay, see it says playback speed. So this playback speed here, okay, you're going to click on it. And notice there's normal. That's the normal speed that it was recorded at. That's what you're seeing right now. But you can also make it slower, 4 times slower actually, 0.025 or twice as slower, or just a little bit slower. Or you can make it faster, all the way up to 2 times faster. That's what this one right here is. So you can adjust the speed. So they're recorded at a speed a lot of times about one every half second, which is pretty fast. So initially when you start doing them, you may want to go all the way to 0.25 or zero point 0.5 so that you can go through your slower conscious mental process, get it working, then slowly move it up, get it to normal. That's sort of where we're, maybe shooting for, and then push it, if you can, up to maybe twice the speed. Anyway, the whole point is, as you don't ever, you want to just sort of go through it, and you're naturally going to get, it's going to get faster and faster, and at some point it's just going to be automatic, and you're just twice the speed is not going to be any problem at all. Okay, I'm going to shut this down for now. Okay, so that's how you change the speed on YouTube, and you I don't know, you might want to, I talk pretty slow, okay, relatively speaking. You might want to, when you watch my videos, put them on 2x, so I talk maybe normal. That's what I do when I watch YouTube videos. I put them on 2x, I'd put them on 3x if I could, because it's like, man, let's get through this information. Okay, so as we train though to to do this, you now have control over it. So you're first going to start out slow because it's a conscious process and new. As you develop some expertise with it, your conscious process you'll be able to do it faster and faster, and at some point your subconscious will take over. Okay, and that's our goal here. Now let's give you an example of what we're talking about. So again, I'm going to show you some words, and you're going to look at them as codes. Okay, so and what we're going to do is we're going to look at these codes and we're going to decide. So here's the instruction what to do. You're looking at code. What do you do? You're going to decide whether this code belongs in the middle of the alphabet, the beginning of the alphabet, or the end of the alphabet. So, and you're going to see, it's pretty easy to do. So again, you might start out at the speed of 2 per second and be able to handle it. But my suggestion is that you might need to slow it down to start with, and then later you can go through the process. So we first this is an example of looking at it. So if you look at this, and it goes in the, and you don't want to say it out loud, you just know where it goes, right? Okay. Then you look at this one, you go, oh, you know where that goes. Okay. Now again, you just got to think where it goes. You can't say it because you don't want to be doing verbal. We want to stay away from verbal. This is a silent process. So you just look at the code and decide where it goes. Okay. Now notice your brain might have first gone through. You don't even have to know what the word means, right? Or what is, but you probably did know what those meant, and you don't want to pay attention to those. You want to go to the end result. You want to go to the end result, which is where do they belong in the alphabet? Okay, the beginning, the middle, or the end. Okay, just those three things. That's just a simple process. So this is a conscious process. Now, one of the things we're going to do is, and we're going to talk about it when we do out in the world training, because one of the things is you want to start thinking of all the written things out there as code as well, is be careful that you don't, when you're driving, when you do this, because yes, we do want you to practice when you're driving, but you need to be careful about it. Okay, only do it in very safe situations, because it does take mental effort, and I don't want you distracted from your driving and driving unsafe. Okay, moving on here though, a little bit here. Now, notice how that was pretty easy. Now, at one point, we're going to be going to different things, deciding whether it's a dessert, a drink, or a food. Whatever it is. Is it right? So that's again another decision. Again, there you sort of have to know what the word means. But again, your goal isn't to say the word. Your goal isn't to picture it. Your goal is to decide which one it is. Is it a dessert, a drink, or a meal? Okay, so as we go through this, we're going to talk about a lot of different directions, but again, you look at it as a code and you want to get to the end product. Okay, and I want to talk about a little bit here is, remember, this is how seeing word gets to the end. Okay, so as a baby first sees a nose, and then an ear, and then the eyes, and then the tongue, then the tail, and pretty soon it just says the dog, and it just our brains look and seek to try to put things together to get to an end result. Okay, so one of the things we're going to do is ask you to put things together and get to this end picture, this end result. Now, as you do that, it's going to get a little, how do you say it? You're going to go for it. Your brain can do it, but your brain is going to start to hurt. Is that the right way of saying? Well, now remember we talked about weightlifters, right? They push their muscles until their muscles start to hurt, right? And they know that that's a good sign, because that means they're going to be building muscles. So they've trained themselves to actually strive to push towards that level. They exercise enough till their muscles just ache with greatness. And it's just yes, the burn, and they can just feel their muscles building and their strength, and their whatever reason they're doing all this great muscle building for being stronger, being better looking, being more fit, or whatever, and just fitting in their clothes. But I don't know what the reason is, but they just feel it happening as they get into the burn. So they love the burn, they push to the burn, they strive for the burn. So as we do this, remember, training works the same way in the mental process. So you want to realize that you're training yourself, so going from a conscious to a subconscious process. Your mind, you're mentally trying to put this together. And remember, if your subconscious is jealous, it's going to take over. Okay, so we've got to get in there and go, yeah, 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 this is so great. So you really, but it can't be fake, right? Because your subconscious will check you out. You sure? You got to be like Tom Sawyer. No, 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 and make the subconscious beg to take over. Okay, now this is way too much fun. So you got to really love this. You really do have to love this burn. So you're going to feel this burn and go for it, go for it. Yes, oh, and but your brain is going to hurt. I can guarantee it. Okay, now one of the things to it, like all things, is you want to pace yourself. The weightlifters know how to, to push yourself so hard and so fast, when to take a break and stuff like that, so they don't pull muscles or, do whatever. And the same thing for you with this is find your point where you can just go, that's a good burn, and then now I need to take a break. Then I need to push, take a break and rest and let your brain recover. Okay, so the brain burn, I guess we want to call it or something, but you need to push into it. Understand, whenever we do mental training, your brain might hurt a little bit. Okay, so, but again, we can adjust the speed, you can take breaks, you can pause the video, there's all sorts of ways that you can control it so that you can get through the exercises and get so that you can do them. Okay, Bike Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Flipbooks. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day.